Welcome to your stretch and chill class. This one is going to unwind and calm your entire body. We're going to start lying down, but before we go down, make sure you've got any props nearby you that you might need. A couple of blocks or hardback books are always useful, and potentially a folded blanket or a cushion. Let's start lying down. Keep your knees bent and have your feet at the edge of the mat, and just allow your knees to gently close together. We'll begin by closing down the eyes and just taking 3 focused breaths. So when you're ready, a nice big inhale in through the nose, big, deep and full. And then exhale out through the mouth, let it be long and smooth. And 2 more of those, so inhaling in through the nose, big, deep and full. Exhale out through that mouth, long, smooth exhale. 1 more, inhaling in through the nose, big, deep and full. Exhaling through the mouth, long and smooth. And then when you are ready, you can open your eyes and start by bringing your knees in towards your chest. So we could start here in ball pose by giving ourselves a nice big hug. You might want to put your hands around your shins. You can even wrap them around as well if that feels good. And you'll see that I've started a little rock side to side. So let's all begin here, but take your time, allow your back to, take your time and allow your back to just gently release. Perhaps now you can bring your hands to your knees and start some knee circles, a couple in each direction. I like to start by keeping my knees close together, and then you can always take the variation where we have our knees wider apart as well. So this is just about starting to warm up the hips, seeing and checking in where we are with our back and our lower spine as well. A nice big hug in. And then we're going to keep the right knee hugged in as we let the left leg go long. And if it doesn't feel comfortable to have it fully long on the mat, you can always take back that bent knee position. So hug in that right knee, almost like you're aiming it up towards your right shoulder. And then we're going to slowly and gently take it over to the left side. Now you might want to adjust your left hip underneath you here a little bit. And then take both arms out towards the left. And then with the right arm, start to take some gorgeous circles over your head. So they're coming all the way round. Maybe 3 of these as we start to work into the shoulders. Just really lovely big circles. And with your third one, there we go, just open out here. Allow yourself to release. Your arm can be out straight, but it can also be in a cactus as well. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, just simply bring that arm back in and rest it on your body. Take a breath here. And then slowly roll back onto your back. We're going to keep working on that right leg by taking it upwards towards the ceiling, maybe bringing your hands behind the back of your thigh, and take some ankle circles here to warm up the ankles. And you can also take some sort of stretch and points here. So have your leg straight enough that you start to feel a stretch down the back of the leg. Okay, it's absolutely fine to have a little bit of bend in the knee there. And then bringing in the right knee back towards the chest, and keep it there as we bend that left leg. Bring the sole of the left foot to the mat and cross the right ankle just underneath the left knee. And you're in this figure of 4 or supine pigeon position. Take your right hand, just gently press it out onto your right thigh, allowing that little bit of opening to happen. And if you want to, you can stay exactly here. This is giving you enough from the pose. But for those of you that want to go a little deeper, thread your right hand through the gap you've made, pick your left foot up off the floor, and then slowly interlace your hands around the back of your left thigh or the front of the left shin and start to hug in. This is our supine pigeon. You see, I do a little rock, and some other people prefer to just stay still. I always start to rock first and then come to a stillness. The more you hug in, the more intense the pose will be. So just go as far as you need to today. And 1 more breath here. And then we will unravel those legs, hugging both knees back into the chest, and we're back in our ball pose. And let's take that all on the other side. So this time the left knee stays hugged in, the right leg goes long or bends and finds the mat. Hug in that left knee, aiming that left knee just upwards towards the left shoulder. Just that's the direction. And then really slowly take that left knee over to the right side. And again, just adjusting that hip underneath you so the hips are more stacked. Take your arms out to the side, and this time the left up arm is going to do those beautiful circles over the top of your head. We're going to take 3 of them. Starting to work through the shoulders, opening up the chest as well. And on the 3rd one, just pause in that open position. And the arm can be straight, it could be bent in a cactus position, or it can simply just rest on your body if it's feeling too intense. Pause here. Let this beautiful twist start to open up your body. Before we roll back onto our backs and keep working on that left leg. So now we'll take the left leg back up to the ceiling, hands behind your left thigh, and take some ankle circles. A couple in each direction, a couple of points as well if you want to. And just remembering we don't have to have a poker straight leg, just enough that you're starting to feel a stretch at the back of the left leg there. Really nice, and then bringing that left knee in towards your chest. Now we're going to bend the right leg, sole of the right foot comes to the mat, left ankle crosses over just up beneath the knee, and you're back in that figure of 4 supine pigeon position. Left hand goes on the left thigh, just gently starts to rotate out and create that opening there in the left hip. And I always start with this because it's always good to get into this position first. And then only if you want a little bit extra, do you thread that left hand through the gap you've made, picking the right foot up off the floor, and your hands can be interlaced behind your thigh or your shin, and you hug in just as much as you need to. You can stay still. You can take a little gentle movement in this position if you want to. Whatever feels good in your body today. And we just try and relax into the pose. It's a great hip opener pose, is supine pigeon. Before we untangle our legs, hug those knees in, and we are going to make our way upwards. So you can do this by rocking and rolling through your spine, or you can roll onto your side and just gradually bring yourself up into a seated position. And we're going to continue by rolling over our knees and coming into a tabletop position, 4-point kneeling. So having your knees underneath your hips and your wrists sort of underneath your shoulders, fingers spread and grounded. Let's inhale as you drop your belly and lift your chest. And exhale as you round your spine, bringing your chin to your chest. Inhale as you're looking up, dropping belly, lifting tailbone. Exhaling as you round the spine, chin tucks in. Take a couple more of these now, linking your breath. Inhaling as you look up. And exhaling as you round. A few more cat-cows in your own time. And then coming and finding a stillness and staying in this 4-point kneeling. I just want you to pad your hands forward. So we're coming a little bit lower, we're coming into a puppy pose. So perhaps it stays here. Perhaps you want to bring your cushion or your blanket for a bit of support just here. Some of you will go a little further, and we're keeping our hips over our knees, so we're not sitting back into child's pose just yet. So hips are over knees, and you're starting to bring that chest more towards the mat. And in doing so, we're opening up those shoulders, a beautiful stretch through the back of the body here. Take a breath, take a pause in your puppy pose. And then really slowly walk those hands back in and keep walking them back as you start to sink your bottom onto your heels. Keep your arms long though. Don't wrap your arms around your heels as you might do in child's pose. So we're keeping our hands long. Come up onto your fingertips. Bottom is on heels, and just let your head sink down as far as it's comfortable. And then walking the hands to the right side of the mat. And as you walk them to the right side of the mat, take the left hand and see if it can reach a little bit further. You'll find that you get a gorgeous stretch through the left side of the body when you do that. And then bringing them back into center and take them over to the left side of the mat. This time the right hand starts to reach a little bit further and you get that gorgeous stretch through the right side of the body. And then they come back to center and start walking them forward. We're actually going to come essentially to a lying position on our mat. So come lying down, but you'll see that my arms have come into a 45-degree angle. So I've got my elbows underneath my shoulders and my hands are out in front of me like a number 11, and I'm actually in Sphinx pose. So if you just slightly engage your glutes, press the top of your toes and your feet into the mat, and then see if you can almost draw your chest through your arms. A slight gaze is forward, and we're in our Sphinx pose. And if you want to here, you can certainly sort of try and move the head a little bit, a gentle rock from side to side, or the gaze can just remain simply forward. This is a lovely sort of gentler back opener to Cobra and Up Dog, one of my favorites. And then we're going to come all the way down, bring our hands underneath our shoulders, tucking our toes. And from here, we're going to press through our hands, come up and find our first downward facing dog, that inverted V pose. I'm grounding my hands into the mat, and you'll see that I'm taking a pedal here in downward facing dog. Gently pedal out those legs, perhaps pausing on one side, so letting one heel come closer to the mat and just pausing there for a moment. It's a beautiful stretch down the back of the leg. And moving over to the other side when you're ready. And then coming back to a pedal. Really great. One last little pedal here. And then we are going to come into a runner's lunge. So you've got two options to come here. We could lift our right leg up towards the sky and use that as momentum to step it forward. Or both knees come to the mat, just grab your right ankle and step it forward. And we are here in a runner's lunge. And I'm going to grab one of these blocks. And so if your runner's lunge is feeling a bit too deep, you can certainly use your blocks to keep you a little bit more raised here. And if you want, you can tuck that back toe and lift that back knee. Just makes a bit more intensity here. Pausing for a second in your runner's lunge, opening up there and having a beautiful stretch. And then if you've got your back knee lifted, let's drop that to the mat now. Bring your right hand inside your right foot and just heel toe that right foot to the edge of the mat. You're in one of my most favorite poses, and this is lizard pose. So again, you might want that block here to keep you a little bit higher and take away a little of the intensity, but you can also use this block to increase the intensity. So we can start to come lower, and that is definitely going to get deeper into the pose. Some of you may actually be able to remove the block and come all the way down with your elbows onto the mat. They're all just variations, and you'll have a different body on a different week, and you might need a different variation each time. So you find one that suits you today, and just start to focus on the breath here, and focus on the exhale in particular. When we focus on the exhale in quite a strong, deep pose, it allows us to just relax into it a little bit more. One more breath here in your lizard. And then see if we can take a variation of lizard. So I'm going to ground my left hand down and open up with the right arm. And this is a twisted lizard, and you can definitely stay here. For some of you though, you'll see that I'm just padding out my back knee by rolling over my mat. You could use a blanket here as well. For some of you though, from that twisted lizard, you may want to take that right hand all the way behind you, lifting up the back foot and seeing if you can hold onto the back foot there. Now this is quite intense on the thigh. You'll find it intense on the left thigh. It's a gorgeous stretch. And if you can't make that move, then maybe next time you come back to this video, you can grab a dressing gown cord or a strap and you could practice it that way. Two options there. I'm going to find my twisted lizard. And then bring the right hand down, drop the back foot if you've taken that variation. And we are going to step back into that downward facing dog. Take a pedal here. A little bit of movement to release any tension that's built up there from our lizard poses. And we'll take all of that on the other side. So making your way with the left foot forward now into a runner's lunge, either by lifting the left leg and stepping it forward, or both knees to the mat, and we help that foot up to the top of the mat. Use your blocks to make yourself comfortable here. Option to tuck the back toe and lift the back knee. Pausing in your runner's lunge, taking a breath here, or a couple of breaths here. Allowing that beautiful opening to happen and stretch to happen, this time in the right hip and right leg. And then dropping the knee if you've got it lifted, bringing the left hand inside the left foot and heel toeing it to the edge of the mat and placing it back down. You're now in your lizard. Remembering that you can use the block to lessen the intensity. You can even come up a lot higher. And you can also use it to start working towards bringing your elbows down towards the mat. And you don't need the block at all if, of course, you're happy to bring your elbows all the way down. Find the variation that suits you today and pause here, remembering then to bring your focus and attention to the exhale. Focus on that exhale just being longer and smoother maybe than the inhale. And that will send powerful signals to your brain that you're in a safe mode and that you can relax into the pose. Take another long last breath here in your lizard before we find that twisted variation. So the right hand comes down to the mat and the left arm this time comes up, and you can find your twisted lizard. Option, of course, I have to pad out my back knee. Option, of course, to take your twisted lizard more bound and pick up the back foot there and get a beautiful quad stretch on the right hand side here while you're in your lizard. Two options, choose which one suits you today and take one more breath here. Before you bring that left hand down, and I'm simply going to walk my hands now to the right side of the mat. So I'm walking them around, lifting my back knee as I go, keeping my legs really wide and having my feet more or less pointed forward. If they want to come in a little bit, then that's absolutely fine too. And you should find that you are in a wide leg forward fold. You're welcome to bring that block with you. And coming up a little higher is going to just remove some of the intensity. And you can use that block over time to start to bring yourself down. And even again, a bit like we did in lizard, to start to bring yourself a little bit lower down to the mat. Taking a couple of breaths here in your wide leg forward fold. Wonderful. Removing any block out the way if you have that. And then simply maybe bend your knees so you can bring your hands to the mat. Heel toe your feet in. So your heels are about underneath your hips and your toes are just turned out. And then see if you can sink that bottom between your thighs. As we come into a malasana, now I know some of you will get maybe stuck about here, and that's okay. This is a pose that we can work on over time to bring you all the way down. And some of you may feel like you're much more comfortable with a block there to sort of give you a little bit of comfort or safety here. So coming into your malasana, taking a breath before we make our way down onto the mat. So here we are on the mat, bringing your feet together, knees just out wide. The further you take those feet away from your body, the less intense the pose will be. The more intensity that you want, just draw those heels closer towards you. And you're in butterfly, like a butterfly wings or Baddha Konasana. Take an inhale as you sit up tall. You see, I like to have my hands wrapped around my feet. And then take a gentle bend forward. So it's like a forward fold, but we've got our knees bent out to the side in a butterfly. My elbows are just gently bent towards the side. And just allowing yourself to just fold here. And again, bringing that focus to the exhale if it feels quite intense for you. Just another breath or two here. Before you come on up, And then I think it's lovely after that pose to just take your feet out to the side and do a few windscreen wipers here. We're just bringing them over to each side. Really nice. And then if you're not already, come along your mat, because we are going to come and lie down. When you get lying down on your mat, have your knees bent, perhaps your feet just hip width apart, and then I like to just tickle the back of my feet. That gives me a good position to be in. Some of you may want your feet slightly wider or slightly further away. And from here, just start to rock up. A little rock in your pelvis to start, and then seeing if you can slowly make that all the way up and down the spine. These are bridge rolls. We're not coming up into bridge in this class, but we are doing our bridge rolls to just keep that spine lovely and mobile. And then next time you come on down, we're going to pause there and we are going to hug those knees back into the chest. So we are right back where we started. Give them a rock, side to side. Maybe take some knee circles if that's where you want to finish. Before we come into our last pose, so our last pose often in my classes is a supine twist, the one we started with. It is my favorite pose. So let's bring that right knee up into the chest. I know I've said that a few times in this class, haven't I? This is my favorite pose. This is my favorite pose. But supine twist really is my favorite pose. Have your left leg go long, hug your right knee in, and then gently take that right knee over to the left side. Just bring your left hip underneath you. And if you want, you can open out to the right side. Your arm can be long. Your arm could be in a cactus, which is a lot stronger on the shoulders. Or you can simply have it so you're almost like hugging yourself. And that bottom leg, if it doesn't like being long, is welcome to join the right top leg here and have just both knees to the left side. Lots of variations. Find yours and take a breath. Before you roll onto your back, we'll take that all on the other side. You might want to close down your eyes for this last little bit because you know where we're going. We're going to hug that left knee in. You're going to take it over to the right side. Make any adjustment that you need to underneath you. And then left arm can go out to the left side if it wants to, straight or cactus, or simply give yourself a hug. But close down the eyes. And then finally, just roll back onto your back and take any resting position. We're not going to stay here for very long, but we are going to take a couple of breaths. So find a resting position that suits you. That might be the classic Shavasana with your legs out long, or you might take that starting position we did with your feet at the edge of the mat and your knees close together. We even did a Baddha Konasana today. So if you want to take supine Baddha Konasana, so it's where we have those butterfly legs with our feet together and our knees out wide, you could take that pose too. Now close down the eyes and simply bring your hands to your belly. And we are going to practice belly breath in this class. This is where we focus our attention on the inhale coming and filling up the belly. And as you exhale, you literally feel your belly falling. It's a simple rise and fall of the abdomen as we focus our attention right there. A couple of breaths just to finish off your practice, which sends a very strong signal to your nervous system that you're now calm and you are relaxed. Take 2 more breaths here, focusing on the inhale, filling the belly, and the exhale, a gentle fall. And then when you are ready, we're going to make our way up to a seated position. So I suggest you hug those knees back into the chest and give yourself the biggest hug. You can, of course, rock and roll up, but I like to roll onto my side and gently bring myself up into a seated position. And I hope that you feel calm and relaxed and all stretched out from the class. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.